Good morning, everyone. It's Lynn Dunn from Stamptastic Designs. Thanks so much for joining me today. So, today we are going to focus on some alternative ways that you can use the paper pumpkin kit from this month. So, we're going to focus on the June paper pumpkin kit, which is called Welcome In. And I have a variety of different card ideas that I want to share with you. I'm actually pretty excited about these cards. I had a lot of fun with this kit. So, we're going to start out with some cards that I created from the envelopes that were in the kit. So, I created 3 cards from one envelope. So, these are the 3 cards, and I'm going to show you how I did that. Of course, I added my own supplies and things like that. But I'll show you how to make these cards. But before I do that, I'm going to show you the cards from this kit. So I decided to just create the cards as they were. I thought they were just very pretty cards, and I didn't really change anything on the cards. So these are the first 3 cards. So the kit included everything you needed to create a total of 9 cards. So there's 3 of each of the 3 different designs. So these are the 3 different designs. And I just created them all as is. So what I'm going to do today is just focus on how to use the envelopes that were in the kit to create even more cards, and then I'm going to really just focus on the exclusive stamp set. And there is a coordinating die that goes with this set. So if you are a Paper Pumpkin subscriber and you did get the June kit, the dies are still available on my website. So I linked to that in the description with this video. So good morning, everybody. So we're going to focus on Paper Pumpkin, but I have some fun layouts for you. And you can use these layouts with any supplies that you have on hand. So I'm just going to make my screen bigger here so you can see the cards. These are the cards that I'm going to show you how to create. And this month's kit, let me just open this up here. So I store my Paper Pumpkin stamp set in a little clear case. And then I keep my, I keep the cover, I guess. The cover is the insert that comes in the Paper Pumpkin kit. So I keep that in my case. There's a couple dies that coordinate with this kit, like I mentioned. So you can find those out on my website. Let me just move this out of the way here. So this is the stamp set, the exclusive stamp set that came in the kit. So I used a variety of different images from this set to create these cards, especially the vase, of course. So I'm going to show you how I cut up the envelope so that I could create these 3 cards. So let me just grab the envelope and then we'll get into the cards. So here is the envelope. So you get how many you get? 9 envelopes in your kit. So I just cut apart this envelope and I cut it into a couple different pieces. So I cut off the top part here and created this is about a 2 inch, I think it's a little less than 2 inches wide, and it's 5 inches long. So I created that off, actually, like this, off the top flap of the envelope. And then the bottom part of the envelope, here, let me put this to the side. The bottom part of the envelope, I cut apart here and just created a 4 by 5 1/4 inch piece. So I got 2 pieces just from the front of the envelope. And then when you flip the envelope over, so you have this backside piece here, what I did is when I cut apart the envelope, I just saved that back piece. And then I just used one of my dies to create a little die cut piece that I could use in my card making. So these are the 3 pieces that I cut from my envelope that we're going to be using to create the cards. Okay, so I will start. Actually, what I'll do, I should probably show you how to cut the envelope, right? Let's show you how to do that. So this is how I cut apart my envelope. You can cut it apart any way you want. I start by just kind of cutting a little bit off the edge here just to open up the envelope. So I kind of cut off this little section here. And then I just flip this over and cut off the other section. Oh, did I cut it enough? Yeah, I did. And that'll just allow you to open the envelope all the way up. Okay. So you just cut a little bit off each side just to open up the envelope. And then what I did is I just put this score line here, which is the bottom of the envelope. I just put that on the right side of the track of my paper trimmer. And then I just cut that off. So this is the piece that I used to create this, to create my die cut shape. So I'm going to set that to the side. And then I turned this around here and I cut my blue piece first. So I just lined this up at 4 inches and then I just cut this off. And so what that'll do is leave just a little bit of that blue here along with your designer paper. So this is 4 inches. And then I cut this down to 5 1/4. So it's 4 by 5 1/4. So that's the second piece. And then this one, I just kind of cut down so that I could kind of cut off these rounded corners here. So I just kind of chopped a little bit off there. And then I kind of lined it up so that you can get a 2-inch piece roughly. So I just want to cut off those rounded corners. And then I just took this part and just lined it up at the 5-inch mark and then cut that off. So a little bit of fancy maneuvering, and then you'll have all the pieces that you need to create 3 cards. So 3 cards from 1 envelope. All right, so let's get started. Let me grab these cards here. Let's see, which one shall we start with? Let's start with this one. And I need a scrap piece of paper here. So what I did for this one is I used that large piece, so the 4 by 5 1/4 inch piece. And there's an image in this stamp set that creates this fun little border here. I'm going to grab that quick. And a block. And then in the kit, we received some Night of Navy ink. So that's the ink that I'm using for this particular technique that I'm going to show you. So what I'm going to do is just add some scrap paper here behind. And we're going to take this image and we're going to stamp it across the bottom of this paper. I'm just going to ink this up. And so this image has kind of a rounded edge, and then it has like a little V over on this side. And so we're going to actually stamp it twice, and it will we'll be able to line this up with this little V here. So the rounded part lines up perfectly inside that little V. So you can kind of do this all the way across, you know, your cardstock or whatever you're using. In this case, it's an envelope that I'm using, but it lines up really nicely and you can create a little decorative design. So now I need the rest of my pieces. I've got them all separated. So, all right. So now what we're going to do is just, I used white cardstock for the base of my card. And oops, now I just got blue ink all over me. Hang on one second here. I got blue ink all over my freshly stamped image here, but that's okay. We're going to cover all that up anyways. I just don't want to get any more. So I'm just going to add this to the card base. And you can see I got ink all over my fingers. Start out with a bang here. And then I just took some vellum and a die cut piece. So I'm using the Radiating Stitches dies to create my die cut shapes. You can use any die cut shape that you want to create your focal point. And then I just have a 2 3/4 by 2 3/4 inch piece of vellum. This has a little bit of polka dots on it. So I'm just going to adhere these two pieces together. I like to add a little bit of vellum just to give it a little more depth and dimension. And then we will add some dimensionals to this and pop this up on the card. And then I used the vase. I used the vase for like everything I made because I really liked it. But I used the little vase image from this set. So we should be able to cover up all this ink that I got everywhere. This is going to be a perfect place for my greeting. So I used the image from the set and I just stamped it using Night of Navy ink. And then I cut it out with the die, with the coordinating Welcome In die. And then I just popped it up in the bottom center of this piece. Then the other thing I did is I added, let me grab this here. I added some florals coming out of the vase, and I got those from the Lasting Joy set. So this is the Lasting Joy stamp set, and this is the floral that I used. So I just stamped it on a scrap piece of white cardstock. I used a little boho blue and some Night of Navy, and then I just cut it out with the scissors. It's pretty easy to cut around that. And then I just put this inside the little vase like that, just kind of popped it up. And then let's see if we can put our welcome over here. And we can add our little welcome there and cover up my little splotch. See, you guys think I'm perfect, but I absolutely am not. So I just proved it to you. So we will add this. Now the little welcome, whoops, stuck to my finger. The little welcome is one of the greetings from this particular set. But you can use anything with this vase. So we'll add that right over that little splotch. And then you can embellish it with whatever you want. I embellished with the little dots that came in the kit. And then I don't think I did anything on the inside, but you could easily stamp this image all the way down the inside of your card to decorate the inside. So that was just one of the ideas. So that's one card that I created with the envelope piece. And then this next one, we're going to use that same image. So hopefully I won't get it everywhere. Hopefully I won't get ink everywhere. But we're going to use that same image. And this time I'm going to stamp it right down the side of my card front. So I'm just going to smooth this out a little bit. So this, oops, will go here. And let's grab some ink. So I'm just going to use the Night of Navy again. Let's get a little bit more. And we will go right about here. Oops, kind of going off screen. Sorry, guys. And then again, we're going to line it up. We're just going to put that round side inside that V. And then this time we have to do it one more time so we can get all the way across the card. All right. So it makes a really fun little border. So you don't even need designer paper. You can just create your own designer paper. All right, so for this one, I'm just going to use that die cut shape and a little bit of vellum. So let me grab all my pieces here. So the vellum is 3 1/4 by 3. So this is 3. This is the 3" and this is 3 1/4. So I'm just going to add this behind this die cut shape. So I like to use all the parts of the envelope. So if you're just joining me, I'm creating 3 cards from one of the envelopes that was in the paper pumpkin kit for this month. So you can cut apart your envelope and create 3 cards. And there's 9 envelopes in the kit. So somebody do the math. 27 cards you can create just from the envelopes. Is that right? 27? All right. All right, and so the same thing here. I just created another one of these little vases with that image. So let me just show you the image here. This is the vase image that I'm using, and you just stamp it and cut it out. So you can make it any color. I just kind of stuck with the blues because we're using the envelopes here. But I have a couple other card ideas that I'll share with you that are not in these 2 blues, the navy and the boho blue. I have some calypso coral and some other ones that I'll share. So actually, let's put our greeting on here first. Is this big enough? Yep. So let me stamp the greeting. And I tended to use the welcome greeting that was in this stamp set. I'm not getting a good ink here. There we go. We'll put that on there. But you can easily change out and use thank you or birthday or whatever you want to use. So let's pop this up. I'm going to put my greeting on first so that I can position my vase above it. And then I have my die cut shape here. Let's scoot that under a little bit. And then you can use any die cut shape. I cut it out in white, so you can use any kind of foliage or floral or something like that to create the die cut shape for the top. Now I did cut mine down, so I'll show you that in a second. This is one of the die cut shapes from a new stamp set that is coming out next month. So it's from the Timeless Charm bundle. And so I'm using one of the die cut shapes from this particular bundle. So, but like I said, you can use any die cut shapes that you want to. So I want to make this just a little bit shorter. So I'm just going to snip this right here and snip those off. And then I can add this to my card. I'll just tuck that right in there, hopefully. I might have to cut it down a little bit. Oh, there we go. All right. And then you can embellish it with, again, whatever you want. I use the embellishments that came in the kit. So super fun. And then the last one that I created from the envelope, this time I'm using the flap of the envelope. And so this is that 2 by 5" piece. Let me grab all my pieces here. So for this one, I started by adding a 1 by 5.5" piece of Night of Navy cardstock. And I just added that to the left side of the card front. And then I took this piece that I cut from that envelope. So this is the flap of the envelope that I cut down to a 2 by 5" piece. And this one I just layered right on here. And so that's the basic design. And then I just took, another die cut shape and some more vellum. So I have a 2 3/4 by 2 3/4 inch piece of vellum and a little die cut shape from the Radiating Stitches dies. So we'll add that and then I'll pop this up. And then again, I just use the vase for my focal point. There we go. All right, so let's pop this up right here. And then we'll add our vase, and then we can add the greeting. So again, it's a very simple design, and you can actually use this layout with any supplies you have on hand. So if you don't have the paper pumpkin kit, you can easily use this layout and just create something different here for your focal point. Instead of a vase, create something else. So we'll add that on there, and then we can add our greeting, and then this is what the card will look like when you're done. All right, so let me bring these back. These are the 3 cards that I created from one envelope. And this is the envelope. So I used the back side and I used the 2 front pieces to create all 3 of these cards. So fun, super fun. All right, so let me show you a couple other card ideas that I created with this kit. So I kind of stuck with the blues for these, and I incorporated the Countryside. Is it called Countryside Inn? I don't have it in front of me. Here it is. Oops. So it is the Countryside Corners die set and stamp set. So I incorporated that in with this because it does coordinate with that particular suite. And so I just created a little frame with one of the dies, did a little embossing here. This one, I used that Countryside Corners die to create my focal point. So you can use the Radiating Stitches die, you can use this die, you can use whatever you have on hand to create your focal point. And then this should look familiar because it's the same thing that I used here. So I used 2 envelope flaps to create this look across the card. And then I just put a piece of Night of Navy down the center just to kind of cover up the gap that was between the 2. So it looks really, really nice with that. Let's set these over here. All right, so those are the blue ones. So let me show you some other colors. I also used the Calypso Coral. So one of the cards in the kit, let me bring this back. One of the cards in the kit has this paper. This was actually the card base, this Calypso Coral part here. So it was a full card base. It kind of looked like this. So it was front and back, had that same design, just like this one has the same design front and back. This card had the same design front and back. I just cut it in half, and I mounted this to just a piece of white cardstock. And then I saved those, the other half, the back side of that card base, to create these additional cards. So I just cut up that card base and used it just like it was designer paper. So I created a little frame. This time I kind of stuck with the Countryside Corners dies and the stamp set to create the cards. But here's another one. So this one is very similar to this other one here. Let's see if I can move this here. These 2 are very similar. The only difference is that I used a different focal point, and I added some Calypso and Daffodil Delight flowers. And then I used a little bit of Old Olive in here just to kind of jazz it up a little bit. So I love all the color. I love the blue ones, but I do love the Calypso and Calypso Coral, Daffodil Delight, and the Old Olive are just a really nice color combination. All right, here's another one. So you can see I used some of the dies, the welcome in dies. Here's another one, and then here's the last one. So this was a really super fun kit. There's lots of possibilities. There's lots of different ways you can use this stamp set in your card making. So I highly recommend, if you have the kit, play around with it. Use some of the supplies that you have on hand to create some fun little cards. There we go. I'm trying to get back on screen. All right. So I hope you enjoy these card ideas and these layouts. I will get all the details out on my website, on my blog for you later today. And if you are not a Paper Pumpkin subscriber, I highly recommend it. Every month I'm just excited to get a new box of supplies. Sometimes I make the cards that are in the kit the way they are, and sometimes I do things a little different and change them up a little bit. And sometimes I just add my own supplies and make even more cards. So there are lots of possibilities with these kits. So I highly recommend it. You can get more information about Paper Pumpkin by clicking on the link featured in the description with this video. All right, so I hope you guys enjoyed all these card ideas and a look at the June Paper Pumpkin kit. And I hope you have a wonderful Sunday and a great rest of your week. So take care, everybody, and I will see you next week.